Hi everybody, Adam here. Welcome back to our Lego room. First off, want to wish everyone a happy new year. Really excited about the upcoming year. Lots of great stuff planned for not only the Lego room, but in terms of shows that we want to go to as well. And I thought this was a good opportunity to kind of review the state of everything in the Lego room, talk about some of the projects we have ongoing, and some of the things that I have planned for the next couple of months. So let's dive in and take a look around the Lego room. Obviously, the big project that we started working on towards the end of the year was both the elevated track running around the top portion of the room there, and then also the underneath layout that we've been putting together. Two really exciting projects, things that I've had planned for a while, but are finally starting to take shape and are looking pretty cool. We've actually got all the boards here to finish coming down this part above the bookcase there. And we've actually been working on a few plans and designs for how the track will traverse across this part of the room here. Really excited about that. I think we're pretty close to putting that into action. So that's going to be one of the first big things that we kick the year off with. Really hoping that we can finish basically that elevated track line. There's two tracks up there, an inner and an outer main line that both will end up traversing the entire Lego room. Really cool. So that's one of the big things that we're going to be working on over the next couple of weeks here to try to bring that to a conclusion. We're already more than halfway or about halfway around the room with that elevated track, which already looks awesome. Can't wait till that's finished and we can just have the trains running freely up there. Really exciting stuff. So looking forward to having that completed. Now, when it comes to the main part of the layout on top of the tables here, we made a lot of progress in 2024. By far, my favorite section of track is now the T-junction from Trix Bricks that we added over on this end of the layout. Opens up a lot of really cool routes that the trains can take throughout the layout. Really awesome stuff. Feeds into the rail yard part of the layout here, which is awesome. A great way for trains to be able to enter and exit the rail yard, and gives us some interesting different routes for the trains to take through the layout. Also had the opportunity to take it out to a train show that I displayed at with my lug, and it was awesome there as well. So much fun. So much fun, in fact. I have a second full T-junction that we picked up right near the end of the year from Trix Bricks that I will be assembling shortly and getting installed on the lower part of the layout. So really looking forward to that. An amazing chunk of track, and it's going to be awesome to be able to take that out again this year to train shows. Now, as I mentioned, we got the train yard really sort of upgraded and in place this last year. We finished off this siding over here where we've got a number of trains parked, and we expanded out the lines that are on the yard portion of the layout here. Really cool how many trains that lets us get out on the layout at one time. That has been one of my big goals, more room for trains on the track so that we can have, better visibility for all the excellent locomotives and train cars that we have, more of them that are able to run around the layout, and, just better access and better display for all of these different train cars. That's worked really well. You can see we've got the train shed in there, a cool addition from the Bricklink Designer program, a nice addition to the yard area there. And really just looking to continue to add more sidings and track space for the trains to be displayed on and to run on over the next year. That's one of the big drivers behind both the elevated track up there and the lower level track layout that we're doing down here. We've got a lot of trains, we're building even more, and just want those to all be as visible and as active as they can be around the layout. One of the unfortunate things with a number of the construction projects we've been doing around the room, I have not been able to run the trains on the main line here in a while. We've got Lego parts on the track, we've got various tools, we've got track that is going to go up onto the elevated part of the layout that is laid out on top of track here. So my goal in the next couple of days is to get the layout fully operational again. It's going to be awesome to be able to run trains again, and I figure that'll be a nice milestone to sort of kick back into the new year here to get things active and running again. Now, with all of the construction projects that have been going on in the Lego room and with the couple of shows that we displayed at this year, there are a number of sort of casualties around the layout that need to be fixed up. We've got our caboose here that got knocked off the table in some of the construction work. Going to be putting that back together shortly. One of the wind turbines got knocked over with the construction work. So a few things there to put back together. We have a number of interesting industry and just sort of scenery buildings along the edge of the yard area. Really want to finish off the oil industry area there, fix up the tanks there so that they're all white on the top, so that dark gray is removed. And then there's still a few parts that I need to get to finish off the upper walkway. And would really like to finish off the buildings here beside the tanks, just so that we can kind of complete and put that section to rest. With that as well, I've also been working in a number of additions for the lighting and powering of the layout. We have lights and power on the engine shed in the beginning of the yard over there. Would like to have that pretty soon running all the way down that entire inner part of the layout there, all the way down to the grain elevator. That module over there has power as well, and I think it would be really cool if we could get them completely connected together so we can power that entire side of the layout there. More to talk about in a few minutes with the power and lighting and the layout, but that's one of those sort of projects for that interior part of the layout there. A few other things that need to be fixed up. We've got a couple little additions that need to happen to the basically the sort of the depot building here. Really happy with this module, but there's a few changes I need to make to finish off that platform area. So I've got a few things I need to take apart there. We've got our overtrack signal tower here that was a casualty from the second show that we displayed at this year. Need to get that fixed back up. I've got some plans for how to make that a more robust module, but also to make it more modular in general so that it's easier to take to and from shows. And once that's finished, that will get reintegrated back into the layout, likely over here. And there's still a few things that I want to fix up on that building warehouse module over there. It needs to connect fully back up to the track there on that siding. But really been happy with the way that module has come together. So we'll make a push here to get that kind of strengthened up, polished up, so that can be an excellent part of the layout over here. And while we're on this side of the layout here, really want to come back and finish off the Eiffel Tower. I've got the lighting kit for the Eiffel Tower now, and really just need to push through the last part of this build so that we can get it fully lit. And then I think it's going to be an amazing addition to this side of the layout over here. And we'll really expand out the lighting that we have around the layout. Up till this point, mostly been in the city part of the layout. So with lighting coming down the rail yard there and then lighting over on this edge over here, really excited about the way things will look and just how much cool lighting effects we will have going on around the layout as a whole. Turning around from the Eiffel Tower part of the layout, you can see our shelves over here. Going to be emptying these out over the next month or so. All the Winter Village buildings are going to get mounted onto Mills modules and move underneath the layout here on this part of the room. The Winter Village is going to be underneath here. So will be really cool to have those all mounted on Mills and added into that part of the layout. This middle shelf is mostly going to go away. Things will move, display items will move to other shelving areas, but this area is going to clean out in general because I'd like the Titanic to go in here. Might also get the Concorde into this part of the shelving unit here. I think we can probably display both of them in the same area there, but will be great to have these cleared off so that we can start moving other models in here. And then also need to continue to do a cleaning pass here. These stadiums are all going to get built and put onto this shelving area. So really need to get the parts out of here and into our Acro Mills containers behind us. On the subject of the Acro Mills containers, continue to be really happy with how these work and what they are providing us. Makes it so much easier to find parts. The big push over the first part of the year is just going to be continuing to get things sorted out and integrated into the storage system here. I've made a number of additions and sort of progress on that part of the Lego room. We've been working on cleaning out a number of the bins underneath here and getting things set so that it's easier and easier to find all the parts that we need in here. I also really need to get a number of Bricklink orders out to sort of restock after the projects that we've been working on to finish the year off. There was a Canada Post strike here for the last part of November and most of December. Things are starting to get back to normal there, but with that getting back to normal, I can actually place Bricklink orders again. So looking forward to that, and it'll be good to get everything restocked here so that we can easily track down all the parts we need as we're moving through building more Mills modules, building a number of locomotives and train cars that we've got ready to go and sort of planned out for the new year here. So excited about how this area continues to develop here. It's such a great, one, it just looks awesome. It's nice to see this when I'm down here in the Lego room. Nice to see things that are getting organized, but also just makes it so much easier when you're searching for parts and working on builds. I do have a show coming up in about 3 months' time, so definitely need to get this restocked and ready to go so that we can finish up all of the builds that we need to do for that show. But expect to see more on the storage front in upcoming videos, but really cool spot and really happy with how this has been working. Looking underneath the layout, you can see how the underneath table surface is really coming together. Starting to work through assembling track and getting things set up to go onto the this underneath layout. So we'll be working through seeing how much additional track we need to get a complete 2-line track moving around the entire underside of the layout. Pretty optimistic that we've got a good start towards all of that with the Trix Bricks order that we received a few weeks back, but definitely more to go here. Once we're sure that we've got all the track, there's also then going to be the huge push to make sure that we've got enough mills modules that we can mount everything on. But this is really exciting for me, and I'm looking forward to starting to run trains under here. I think it should be a lot of fun, and again, just a really cool way to add additional trains to, or sort of adding spots where additional trains can be running, so we can maximize the number of active trains at any given point in time around the Lego room in general. So more to come here, but continuing to make progress as we get track set up, mills modules plotted out and ready to be used. So excited about where we're going here. While the T-junction was my favorite track module of the year from a pure track perspective, I was really excited with how these bridge modules came together. They worked really well out at a show late summer, early fall. It was super cool to be able to take them and utilize them there. And looking forward to polishing these up and having them be a permanent fixture in our under table layout here. Now that I'm able to get going on some more part orders, I really want to get all the paneling consistent on all of these modules. And I do have from my Trix Bricks order the additional track parts that I needed for making it easy for these bridges to lift in and out. So we'll cover those as they get integrated in, but really happy with the way these worked and look, and looking forward to, I'd like to add at least one more set of these. So 2 bridges, 2 modules on each side to hold them. And then I still do have a few other bridge ideas that I'd like to execute in the coming months here, and see what other sort of bridge options we can give ourselves, not only for use in the layout here in the Lego room, but also for taking out to shows. When it comes to landscaping, we're still, on the very early stages of adding terrain and landscaping to the layout here. But I've been really happy with how our trees have been coming together. I think these add a lot to the layout in general, and I'm happy to have more and more of them popping up in different areas around the layout. I think they look really cool, really working well for something that I can transport to and from shows. They quite sturdy, and they travel quite well, so that's really nice. You can see there's some down by the engine shed over there on that corner. We've got a number on this corner here by the grain elevator. Looking to add more as we head into the new year here, but this has been an awesome addition, and glad that these have been working out really well. On the subject of terrain and landscape, several other things that I'm looking to add this year. I'd like to start to add some rivers and ponds and waterways in and around the layout to add some cool different types of things to see on the terrain modules. And I would also like to start adding some height as well. Everything currently is just built off of the standard mills module height, so everything's very flat around the layout. But I would like to get some water areas where it dips down to basically the base plate level. And you can see those running around on some of the exterior bits, possibly even running under some of the track, which would let us have some little small bridges built into the mills modules. But Lots of stuff ahead on that front. Also some things I want to do with lighting and sort of campsites that I think would be make for some cool modules in and around the sort of more natural places in the layout. So some of these corner modules, some things around the rail yard, and some of the non-city areas. I think that those types of things could really add a lot to the layout and would be cool modules to have at our disposal for displaying at shows as well. So we'll see how that proceeds, but that's kind of the goal for this year. Would really like to make some progress on that, and I think it would be a cool addition to the layout as it starts to continue to grow and evolve going forward. This module here is our small T-junction, or our T-junction light. There's only the one set of curves that go in towards the sort of the 90-degree mark there. And those both come off of the inner track part of the module. Love this module as well. It's been on the upper part of the layout. It's come out to a train show as well. Really cool, gives us a lot of flexibility. This module is actually pretty quickly after this video is going to be moving down the way to that part of the underneath layout there. And then the other full T-junction will be over in the corner on the far side there. But really happy with how this module has worked as well. It was a good sort of introduction to the concept of a T-junction. Works really well. Doesn't have, quite the same functionality as the full T-junction, but still looks awesome, works really well, and excited to have this live on in the lower layout down here. This part of the Lego room over here underneath our train poster and Lego logo poster there, and under our build display area up top. This is relatively new. We added this late in the year, and this is where I'm going to end up displaying all of our Bricker Builds models. So these are the sort of more full-size Bricker Builds modules. So we've got Pikachu and Charmander here. There's a Yoshi and a Mario that will be coming in the very near future, which will be great additions out here as well. Really just want to have these in a nice spot where it's really easy for people to see them and appreciate them here in the Lego room, and that includes me. Previously had these up higher in the office part of my Lego room, but I think being out here in the main room will just make them easier to, like I said, see and appreciate, which really happy about. They look awesome. They were a lot of fun to build, but are even more fun to have on display here and see on a regular basis. So really like what this shelving here provides us, a nice display area. I think they're going to just mostly live on this side here, and I think we'll do some architecture display areas over on that wall over there. But before we got there, we used this as our advent calendar area during the month of December. So really fun, nice area there for building and looking at the advent calendar builds. So, that worked out really well. But as I take those down now for another year, I will be opening that space up and starting to put other types of builds in there. Before we head down the interior part of the layout, just want to show you guys the layout from this outer edge over here. The city didn't change a lot this year. Spent a lot of time working on things outside of the city portion of the layout, but cool to be continuing to add some different buildings in there. We've made some road improvements, which I'm hoping to see through to completion this year. Also, we introduced these awesome railway signal lights from brick stuff into the mainline track. Been really happy with how those have been working, and we'll be looking to add more of those Mills modules around the upper layout here for sure. Possibly even the lower layout underneath the table here, but really happy with how those have been working, and I think that they are an amazing addition to the layout. And then you can see down in the corner over here, we've got our space corner as well, with the rocket there ready to launch. And, we started to build out a bit of a space display area up here as well, which I think is nice. Going to be looking to add more areas like that where we can display sort of groups of builds, but nice to have more and more things be able to be displayed in a nice way around the room. Will let us build a lot more this year if we've got more opportunities in areas where things can be displayed and appreciated. Now, taking a look down the interior part of the layout here. Continue to be really happy with how this looks. Like I said, didn't get to spend quite as much time working on this part of the layout this last year, and definitely looking to correct that. There's a lot of projects in here to finish off and a number of additional buildings I want to add to this part of the layout. So lots of work ahead here, but really excited about the potential and what we can work on in here. And with that, I really want to finish building out all of the lighting on this part of the layout. We've got a lot of street lights that we can get running and active here. And I think as we finish the roads off and work on powering up the remainder of the city Mills modules, we'll be able to see that through to completion. But a really cool part of the city that I'm looking to really push forward this year, both in the Marvel part of the city layout, but just the regular modulars as well. So many builds that we've got queued up for the city part here. So it'll be really great to get everything integrated in here, and then, as needed, work some of those other modules into the lower part of the layout. Maybe have some of them just on display in the shelves if necessary, but really want to work on advancing this part of the layout here. And while we're on the interior part of the layout here, we'll take a look at the rail yard industrial area from this side as well. Awesome to have so many sidings and different areas for trains to be displayed through there. So lots of projects ahead. As I mentioned, with finishing up the city here and trying to make it a more complete part of the layout. Lots of stuff that I want to do in terms of lighting. We need to get all of the street lights hooked up and powered nicely. I would like to add more interior lighting. We have interior lights in a number of the buildings here, but I'd like to have that more consistently applied down the layout here. But really happy with how this part of the layout has come together. It's just not really had the time or focus this year. So hopefully we can spend a bit more time and build out this portion of the layout. Also really want to spend some time going through our display cases here along the wall and trying to organize these a bit more. Like I mentioned, I'd like to get more of an architecture display area out here on this part of the wall. So I'd like to get our architecture sets that we had from before that didn't survive the move very well. I'd like to get those finished up and put out there on display, and just basically kind of go through here, curate a bit, figure out things that we just don't want to keep on display anymore that might be good to break down into parts. And then for other things that we do want to have sort of live on in a display sense on this wall, just kind of organizing them better so it's easier to appreciate everything that we have on display and everything that we have really in general around the room. So looking forward to more work on those bookcase display areas there. They've been nice to have, but I really don't feel like I've utilized them to their full extent yet. So looking forward to improving and tidying that up. And with that, continuing to fill out some of these other display areas that we have here. Great shelf up there for some of the bigger character builds that we have. Yoda works well up. I think will work well up there. We've got Baby Yoda. Optimus is up there. I think Bumblebee could go up there as well. So, with a lot of these things, we've had some of these sets for a while, but just haven't really had a great place to show them off or sort of store/display them once they're built. So really looking to sort of solve that problem a bit over the coming year. Now looking at the under table area here from a different angle, you can see all the completed surfaces that we have for track currently, and really looking to finish all the support structure and the surfaces off for the remaining areas here so that we can get to that complete loop on mills as soon as possible. And with that, we've been sort of moving around and reorganizing all of our Lego boxes, Lego sets that we need to build, etc. And definitely need to make a big push on building stuff here and getting things into a nice displayable state. It's been very sort of enlightening to go back through everything that was kind of just sitting under the table here and re-examine stuff, decide what boxes we want to keep, what things we want to build, and figuring out how those things are going to fit into the layout or our display shelves that we have around the room. So more work to come here, but in the next, like I said, probably in the next couple of weeks, I would really like to have the rest of the framing done so you can do that complete loop around the entire underside of the layout. It will take a bit probably to get all of the mills modules needed for that, but hopefully we'll have all the track initially, and then it'll just be a matter of getting everything mounted onto mills so that it's all at a consistent height and can be interchanged and moved around as needed. But lots of work ahead here. Lots of work has already taken place, but we'll be moving things around, getting the last of our Trix Bricks order out and ready to use. And not only ready to use, but making sure that we actually have enough of everything. Because I think between all the track underneath the layout here, as well as the remaining track that we need for the elevated part of the layout up there, I think between those two projects, we're probably going to need more track. We've got a ton of track here, but I think we're going to need even more. So I'd like to get everything laid out as much as possible and really assess what additional items we need from Trix Bricks so that we can get that ordered ASAP and have that ready to go and use as we get the mills modules in place for the underneath layout here, and as we finish off the shelving for the upper elevated track layout as well. Now, another couple areas to show you here. We'll do more of a full tour of the entryway into the Lego room in an upcoming video, but really want to tidy this part of the room up and finish up a number of builds here. You can see our brickheads shelf, so many great brickhead sets. We just need to get things built here so that we can better appreciate them on the awesome shelving that we have there. I've got a number of additional Speed Champion sets that are going to go on the pegboard there. There's a few more art pieces to hang up on the wall. We have finished the Mona Lisa. Would like to get that up on the wall. There's a few vehicles and bigger sets that I'd like to try to mount on the wall as well. And then just cleaning things out. You can see this has ended up as a bit of a storage area here since I've had to move things out from underneath the tables, but really happy with how the display area here on the way into the Lego room has come together, and this just needs a bit more attention as we kind of move through and clean things up. So more ahead on this area in an upcoming video. And then last but not least, we've got our office area here where we do all of our builds and a lot of our filming. Lots of work ahead here as well. Love how these shelves have been coming together. A lot of great builds on display here, but a number of builds that still need to be finished off as we tidy things up and really make this area sort of super polished. So looking forward to adding more to this part of our display area here. And then 180 around from that wall, you can see we've got some more shelves here where we are displaying things. So more things to get built and displayed. Probably want to add some additional shelving in the corner here to add more display space, but you know, that's really the sort of the mantra for the upcoming year. Increase display area and then get things built and up on those shelves or whatever they happen to be for displaying. We've got a lot of cool things to show off around the room and really want to add, you know, as many nice display areas that are tailored towards those items as much as possible. So overall, super happy with how the Lego room is coming along. So many projects on the go and lots to do, but you know, that's exciting. It's fun to work through all these projects. A lot of cool things ahead, both in terms of display areas, new layouts, both on the upper part of the room and underneath the main layout, and a lot of really cool projects for the main table layout as well. And you know, and with that, lots of cool lighting stuff to do. So really excited for the year ahead, and definitely keep an eye out on the channel. We've got a whole bunch of videos in the queue that will be rolling out over the coming days and weeks. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so that you don't miss out on any of those upcoming videos. And thank you very much for watching. And as I said before, Happy New Year to everyone, and we will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.